Welcome to UNCAGED, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we are talking to Jessica Nemmers. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. I'm really excited to talk to Jessica today. She is the Chief Security Officer for Elevate. And she's going to tell us how her career has evolved and what's happening in the areas of IT and security today. But from being a professional ballerina and evolving into chief security, I'm very excited to hear how that transition has taken place. But let's move into the first question for you, Jessica. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your career.
All right. So as you mentioned, Brant, thank you for the great introduction. This is actually my, I guess, third career. My first career was as a professional ballerina. So that's an unusual path into being a chief security officer in cybersecurity. Our company, a while ago, I've been in IT for about 25 years in security. Our company basically went under due to lack of funding. It was a hard time back in the mid 90s. And from there, I made the leap. Sorry, I have to be a little punny there. Into IT through EDS, which is now, I think, HP. So I joined EDS on an arts project. So it was kind of interesting. It was an IT company partnering with Hitachi to bring 100 days of Japanese culture to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So it was a beautiful transition into corporate America and IT company, but I was the assistant to the chief operating officer on the art side. And then from there, I joined Perot Systems and worked under Ross Perot and many of the fabulous
legendary Ross Perot.
Yes, and at that time, the theme of the company and the attitude toward recruiting there was hire for character and train for skills. And so I got in there. I fell in love with our data center. Unfortunately, I was a really good public speaker, and they said, you've got to be a trainer. And so I moved into the training team and ended up over a global training organization. And it was just so fantastic. So I got to lead teams in 4 different countries. And so it wasn't until a few years later that I was able to transition into security full time. So I am just coming up on my first year at Elevate Credit, and a fantastic company. I joined during the pandemic. I've never been in the office regularly. I've visited the office, and when I do, I have to ask which floor is my office on. So I have to get directions to my office. We look forward to going back in a blended solution in September. So but it's been
I think that's kind of like a normal thing, more normal than you may even realize. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and his company has moved locations during the pandemic, and he was telling me, he said he showed up at the new office and all of the stuff from the old office had been moved and packed without anybody being involved. And so he said he had 5 boxes of stuff sitting on his desk in the new office. So it's a brave new world we're living in. So tell me a little bit more, Jessica, about Elevate and what you're doing there right now as a chief security officer.
All right. Well, Elevate Credit is a fintech company. So we enable the technology and partner with lending institutions to help originate loans. Our goal is good today and better tomorrow. So our mission is to provide lending options for the non-prime market, and something other than a lot of predatory lending options like the payday loans and things that they are subject to today. So, and we offer credit counseling and lower APRs, and just our goal is to get people out of debt, not continue the cycle. So I love our mission. I'm really excited about the things that were happening right now at
Mhm.
Elevate Credit. So I, being the Chief Security Officer, I am over all of cybersecurity, and that includes data protection as well, and then physical security when we're in the office. So
Wow.
it's a big job. I've got a super talented team, and we're just setting out on our mission every day. There's a lot happening right now in the cybersecurity world.
Yeah, no, and I can imagine that the mission of Elevate Credit. What a great, really great space the business is in. We're living at a time certainly that kind of rethinking and reevaluating and supporting individuals and on the credit front is critical. I mean, this wave of financial change is just almost mind numbing at times,
Yes.
but. But on a security perspective, I can imagine that you're handling a lot of very sensitive personal information, and there's been a lot of shifts in personal data. I mean, what does the market look like today, and what are the big challenges?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenges right now are the evolving threat landscape and the techniques that these nation state actors are using. A lot of people are still thinking of these hackers being in someone's basement wearing a hoodie, but these are Russia and China and nation backed hackers. So they're highly educated, they're very organized, and they are looking kind of equal opportunity hacking for small to medium businesses and large corporations. It's really wherever they find a window open or a door open, they're going to try to get through it and see what they get. The challenge with so much data now being accessible in the cloud or through the internet is not only are they hacking in to maybe cause disruption like ransomware and ask for a ransom payment, they're taking data and holding it hostage. So you can say, fine, I'll restore from backups, I'm not paying that ransom. But if they have your sensitive data and they prove to you that they have it, you are really at a loss. And that becomes a much tougher decision for companies on how they're going to react to a data breach or a ransomware attack. So that's really
Yeah,
what we're looking at now.
I mean, we've been reading these kind of high profile stories about data breaches. It seems like there's a new one every couple of days,
Yeah.
and certainly taking active steps. It seems like it's an ongoing battle.
It is. It is very much. And just when we think we kind of know what's coming or we have it under control, we have major attacks in November and December of 2020. We had the SolarWinds attack, which is a networking product in nation state hackers got through an update. So they got directly into companies, over 30,000 companies in the United States and government institutions. And then recently in February, Microsoft announced a vulnerability in Exchange, which is an email product that uh, millions of customers are running. And this was their on-premise servers, and hackers began to hack and put in backdoors. So,
Hmm.
and so a lot of these companies don't even realize they've been hacked. So it's quite an exciting time right now for cybersecurity
Yeah.
at different companies. Yeah.
Yeah, and you hear some of these words like blockchain and I mean, how do those ideas play? Do they are there's some interesting ideas that are being able to be kind of utilized to protect us?
There are, and I've always said it really depends on what the industry is and what the makeup of the company is. So there really is not a one size, one solution fits all for each company. I was with Commercial Metals Company at CMC previously to Elevate Credit, and that was manufacturing. So my job securing a manufacturing company was completely different than my job securing a fintech company or a financial institution or a healthcare company or a hospital. So I think that different ideas are out there. I think they are developed for the need for that specific company. And I
Right.
think there's a baseline. The good news is there is a baseline of security, and we as cybersecurity leaders can come together, share best practices, support each other, share threat intel. But ultimately, for a particular industry, we have to take different options and different techniques to.
Yeah, and I was thinking a lot about this this remote working world that we find ourselves in, and you alluded to the fact that you guys are in the process of going back into the office and maybe ending up in a hybrid structure. I think that hybrid structure is wonderful from a human perspective, and certainly something that we are emulating as well. But um, combining personal tech and professional tech, that must open up a whole nother set of can of worms for
It
you.
has, yeah. I was just on a call with some fellow CISOs in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and we were talking about that. I think when the pandemic happened, sending everyone home to work on their home network, we don't even know if their Wi-Fi is password protected.
Right.
So, and then we've got other IoT devices connected to that same network. We've got kids gaming on that same network. And so that really did open up a new challenge of how do we secure our assets, our laptops at your house when
Yeah.
you are not an IT person? Maybe you didn't even realize that you needed to secure your Wi-Fi a little bit better. And then there's other things too. How do we patch your machine? Can we
Right.
reach your machine? Because you're no longer in our perimeter. Back in the day, it was so much easier. We stand up a firewall, we put everybody behind the firewall, we monitor you, we secure you, we patch you, and the hacking techniques were pretty low level, but we've got social engineering and phishing, and we don't have the physical oversight to just be a constant reminder to our employees too. So it's been a challenge.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really interesting one to see how that evolves and the techniques and protocols that we're all going to have to kind of follow. But let's change gears a little bit here. It's been a challenging moment for the best of us over the last year. Just be curious, how are you staying sane and finding joy in your life, Jessica, during this lovely pandemic we're living through?
Yeah, it's funny because things really slowed down. I think for my family, we did not realize how crazy busy we were. And then when everything went into lockdown, it was just really the quality of our time together. I've been very intentional with work time is work time, and I leave my office physically and go into the rest of the house. And we began cooking together, and we're in Texas, so the weather's been very nice, except for
Mhm.
the ice storm back in February. That one was tough.
Yeah.
But just getting outside. And the other unexpected blessing was the connection with our neighbors. We're always coming and going, and we wave, and, we know their names, but we began to gather safely, spread apart in the backyard or in the street, and all coming together and just visiting, bringing our own cooler, and, having some wine on a Friday evening. And we started what we call Friendship Friday, and we're still doing it. It's
I
just been
love that.
fantastic.
I think the idea of reconnecting with community is such a key one, and what a great thing that's happened there. So, I mean, as the space that you're working in evolves over the next couple of years, I mean, we've already covered that topic of remote work, but what are the things that you think are going to be top of mind? What are top of mind for you right now going forward? And is there any future that we're gonna feel safer, Jessica?
I would love to guarantee that, but I would be probably not doing my job if I did. So I won't go there, but it's definitely cloud. I mean, we started cloud computing and cloud journey really. I think my first what is the cloud presentation was in 2015. So
Mhm.
we're a good 6 years in. But I think continuing to move to the cloud, it's easier, believe it or not. A lot of people think, I'm not going to put all my stuff up there in the cloud. It's someone else's infrastructure. But what we saw from in the Exchange attacks, like Exchange Online was not vulnerable because
Mhm.
Microsoft was able to patch that throughout every tenant. It's these private companies that are still keeping their information on-prem on those on-premise servers.
Right.
Microsoft can't reach it. We can't reach it. It's really one company after another trying to defend themselves again against nation state attacks. So I think cloud is really going to be, the focus. Automation's another focus. We need to move faster. We need to process things quicker. And we're going to do that a lot too. We talk a lot about machine learning and artificial intelligence, but we're going to continue to leverage those technologies. They're just, that you have to kind of fight fight fire with fire a little bit on those. So I think those are really the trends.
Well, I'm glad that you're on the frontier for us, guarding us on this one, Jessica. It's been great to talk to you about everything that you're working on. Today, we've been talking to Jessica Nemmers. She's the Chief Security Officer at Elevate Credit. Elevate Credit is a company that's offering a solution for individuals that are working on, I'd say, I don't know, you want to kind of capture it better for me, but basically
Yeah.
kind of rethinking debt and refinancing and supporting individuals with improving their credit, and as well as delivering a credit solution for them going forward.
Absolutely. Yes. Good today, better tomorrow. We've learned from so many customers that, maybe one event, one injury, one long hospital stay, just things like that can damage your credit. And it's not that you're not being a diligent at paying your bills, but something like that. And I love the opportunity to help them rebuild and be on a much better financial footing for the future.
Yeah, I love it, and I also think that we're at that right moment that all of that stuff has to really be reinvented. Well, listen, Jessica, thank you so much for joining us on Uncaged today.
Thank you.
I've loved hearing what you're working on, and look forward to having you back in the future.
I would love that. Thank you so much.
Cheers, Jessica.
Okay, bye-bye.